janky, so there's a chance I might have to connect to my phone eventually.
And welcome into the show. I am Preston Poole. That is Tyler Adams. This is Unadvised here on the Sports Animal YouTube, Facebook, and right here on our very own X account at Unadvised Pod. What a show we have planned for you today. NBA playoffs, the NFL draft over the weekend, and our very first movie review. So getting ready to get into it. We are having some Wi-Fi issues with Teabag and myself, honestly. Maybe have to do with all this
storming
weather. Yes, might have to do with that. So if we drop, we'll be back just shortly. So stick with us. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off, Teabag, and let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Our very own Oklahoma City Thunder sweep the Memphis Grizzlies in 4 games. They're on to the second round of the playoffs for the second year in a row. Await the winner of the Nuggets and Clippers series that is tied at 2 apiece. I believe they play a little bit later tonight as well. But your thoughts on the Thunder sweeping in the first round for the second year in a row?
A+ support performance. Last time we talked, Preston, for games 1 and 2. Games 3 and 4 were not the best. They were fun. They were fun playoff games. They get your adrenaline going, which is always fun in the playoffs. But if you're just talking kind of what we all wanted to see, game 3 is, I think, the exception, because if there's a game the Thunder were going to lose, it was going to be game 3. And if Ja never gets hurt, they probably don't win that game. But, unfortunately, Ja did get hurt, and they put the Thunder in a position to come back and win. And Game 4, I think, is a game where I don't want to say disappointed, because they won the game. They did their job. But Game 4 is the one where I was, I thought they were going to kill them on Saturday in the 4th game. I thought they were going to destroy them. The spread was like 15. I didn't take it, but I would have taken it. If I had to take a side, I would have.
Oh, we might have lost him. You with us? I don't know if we've got him. He's left. He's going to rejoin on his phone. But yes, the Oklahoma City Thunder sweep in the first round. And I'm kind of with Teabag as well. As I thought the Thunder would go out and blow out the Grizzlies in that last game. That didn't happen. It was kind of a dogfight all the way through. The Thunder get up by 11 there late in the 4th game. And the Grizzlies make kind of like a mini run there to get it within a basket or 2, and the Thunder put them away and move on to the second round. So should be interesting. Let's see. Teabag's currently going outside right now. Let's put him on
headphones.
Okay.
Headphones out of my car.
All right, I'm gonna take you back off then. Teabag will be with this. It's a little behind baseball here, folks. We have to deal with when Wi-Fi isn't the strongest. So we'll have Teabag here just shortly. Beginning the Thunder sweep the first round against the Grizzlies and move on to take on either the Nuggets or the Clippers, which if I had to guess their first game, give me a thumbs up, Teabag, whenever you're good to go. All right. He's back. So I was just continuing talking about that first round and saying that if I had to guess, Thunder's next game would probably be Monday of next week at some point.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. Also, I have my Wi-Fi off my phone. I still can see I'm glitching a little, so I think the storm's really messing with some things around here. I got 4 bars, so it should be good. But yeah, back to what I was saying with Game 4. I thought that they would come out and destroy them. They didn't, but you did what you needed to do. You won the game. You set yourself up for a rest while the Clippers and the Nuggets battle it out. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't see it's not starting Saturday, maybe Sunday if all the series fall to where the NBA needs games, like if all these series get closed out quick and the NBA needs games and Denver or the Clippers can pull it off in 6, because I think game 6 is Thursday.
Yeah.
Then I see a world where it's Sunday, but I'm probably gonna leave Monday with you.
Yeah, I think that's probably our best guess. Anything else on the Thunder? It seemed like there in especially game 3 that they were trying to live and die by the 3. And that drives me crazy at some point. And really in game 4 as well. I think they only hit like 7 threes, maybe not even that.
Yeah.
In that game, it drives me crazy at points where teams do it. And I get why they're doing it, because once they start falling, right, they can fall, very easily for a team like the Thunder. But when you rely on that and it's not going, it just feels like you're stuck in the mud for the whole entire game.
Yeah, I think that's the number one concern with the Thunder too is the 3-point shot. No one's concerned about the defense. Even though for 3 out of the 4 games he didn't play good, I don't think long term people are concerned about Shea. They shouldn't be, at least if they are. I mean,
he played great in game 4.
Yeah, he played great in game 4, and superstars figure it out. No matter what, they figure it out. And so I'm not worried about that, but I think the worries going into the playoffs have been Chet and J-Dub, which I think have so far lived up to the expectations. Now see it doing in a high pressure road game, and then also the 3-point shot. So when those things aren't lining up, it's difficult for the Thunder to win in these highly contested games. But I'm just still under the belief that when you have guys like Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, and Casey Wallace on the perimeter defending, if the Thunder can't shoot threes, it might get them a game or two, but for a whole series, when you got those 3 guys out there on the defense, even if the shots aren't falling for the Thunder, they're going to set themselves up in a position to be able to close it out.
Yeah, no, and Alex Caruso was fantastic.
Oh my gosh,
this series! I mean, it's just something about watching that man play basketball. It just brings a smile to my face.
When we've seen it like in glimpses in the regular season. But I mean, even he said in the post game, I think it was after game 3, maybe, where he was like, "I've realized at 31 years old, I can't do what I would need to do in the playoffs for 82 games in the regular season. My body's not going to allow that, because he's so physical. He's diving on the wood. He's doing it all. And now that we're just seeing it play in and possession out for Alex Caruso is so fun. I mean.
And my God. Like there were people at some points during the season like, why did we trade for this guy? He's been hurt. This is why you trade for him, because he's a long-term defender. He's going to try and get his hands on as many basketballs as he can and try and get as many steals. He's going to dive on the floor. He's going to do whatever it takes to win a basketball game, and that's what you need in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the ultimate competitor, and he's also the veteran of the team. He's a guy with championship pedigree. Not was a bubble, so does it count all too much, Preston? I'd say for Alex Caruso it does. LeBron James not so much. But I mean, nonetheless, I mean he's 31 years old. He's a veteran in this league. He's played with greats. He's played on teams that have gone on runs in the playoffs. Like I said, he's won a championship. So I mean, he brings more than just on court things to this team. I mean, in that locker room, he's a good guy to help keep things composed.
No, and Chet even talked about that after the game the other night. He had a nice quote on Alex Caruso, basically saying exactly what you just said about him. So, I think the Thunder, as long as they can, and Chet, by the way, were not good in game 4. I think we can say that. But I think he had a decent series outside of that. I thought
he stepped up in game 3 in that second half and showed you what he can be. So, I mean, he's got to hope on that
game.
Yeah, you got to hope on that.
No, I'm with you 100% on that.
Do you want Denver? I know we've had this conversation before, but now that we've seen 4 games of this series, are you Denver or are you LA?
I think both teams bring their own different challenges when it comes to the Thunder, but at times it just seems like there's so much disarray with that Denver, locker room and roster. I mean, we saw Nikola Jokic, screaming at one of the assistant coaches the other night. Bring me that, because I think the Thunder could get in their head in that way, and I want no part of Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs.
Kawhi Leonard is healthy right now. He's playing amazing. I'm with you. I want Denver. Kawhi's just playing phenomenal. They're deeper than Denver. They're not deeper than Thunder. No one's deeper than Thunder outside of Boston. But that's not your worry right now. So I want Denver because, yes, Jokic scares me. Jokic is the only guy I would consider.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a healthy Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs I would consider up there as a top 3 player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's going, he's almost unguardable with just how long he is. But I mean, obviously Jokic scares you. Jamal Murray can scare you at times, but not consistently.
No, I mean,
MPJ is the same way.
Jamal Murray's been nothing since their championship,
and he'll have he'll 43 minutes he plays awful, and 5 minutes of the game he's like, oh my god, this guy's awesome. So I mean, he'll scare you at times, but yeah, I mean, Denver truly, like, maybe it's disrespecting them, maybe it's overlooking them. Denver does not worry me in the slightest. I mean, can they beat the Thunder? Absolutely. Anyone can beat the Thunder moving forward. But the Clippers really do, get me like concerned. Like, I mean, they match up well with the Thunder. Their defensive team, they got a good head coach. They got a veteran team. And like we said, Kawhi Leonard, Norm Howell, James Harden, Zubac playing great, even though I think the Thunder be good at, kind of taking Zubac out of the game. But yeah, the Clippers are scary. I think is next round the toughest round the Thunder's going to play, and if it is the Clippers,
I think if you get the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals, that or you get Draymond, who's just beating the hell out of anyone that gets in front of them. Timberwolves, by the way, are playing great right now. Anthony Edwards in the playoffs is just been phenomenal so far at this point. But yeah, no, I think that it is I think it's tough from here on out, no matter what, for the Thunder. And look, we've seen them now 2 series in a row where they, start out great in game 1. I mean, couldn't have got any better than what game 1 was, for this Grizzlies series. Game 2 was, they won by 20 points. And then game 3, once you hit the road, things got sideways real quick. You got lucky that John Morant got hurt in game 3. And you were able to come back from 26 points down at halftime. And then you kind of got lucky in game 4 as well, where you were able to, at the end of the 4th, build an 11-point lead. The Grizzlies try and make a comeback. You kind of hold them off a little bit, and you end up winning by a handful. I can't remember the final score off the top of my head, but they need to figure some of that, stuff on the road out, because we saw them in that Mavericks series last year. They go out and they win game 1, like 115 to 90 something, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. And then after that, it was just a complete dogfight, and they lose in 6 games. So there's something there outside of game 1 and maybe game 2 that they need to figure out going deeper into series.
I think the same can be said for. I mean, the Western Conference right now has just been such a dogfight. Yeah. I mean, I know Rockets Warriors is 3-1 right now, but dogfight.
It's literally been like Lakers, a UFC match in that
round. It's been insane. I mean, Clippers Nuggets we just talked about, dogfight. I mean, it's just nuts. And that's why I'm saying it's like the Thunder didn't play great in game 4, but they did what they needed to do, and that's get rest, because look at what these other teams are going through right now. Like I said, 2 of the teams are up 3-1, but go ask the Warriors if that's been an easy 3-1, No, that has been a competitive 3-1. Like last night was a war. I was not planning on watching the whole game last night, Preston. And then I started watching, and I couldn't get my eyes off it. I ended up just watching the whole thing because it was just that much of a battle. Like, as a guy that likes basketball, it was too good not to watch.
Yeah, I was watching the who was it last night that I was watching? Yeah, that Rockets Warriors game where I'm just seeing Draymond Green just punch. He should have
been kicked out, but the NBA Adam Silver gave a call and said give that a flagrant, not a second technical.
Yeah. I saw at one point you had almost all the fouls you could get in an NBA game as well too. So yeah, that series has been a dogfight. Yeah, the Warriors won 109-106 last night.
We can also one about Draymond. I don't think he's very popular around here. I'm not a fan of him. He's doing his job right now.
Yeah,
he's doing his job.
Getting in the heads of the young Rockets team. Yeah.
That's the whole point of Draymond Green. He's doing a really good job of it right now.
And that's been the whole point of Draymond Green since he came into the
forever
league.
And always.
Is just piss everyone else off on the other team to where they just have like a bad game. And I kind of figured the Warriors had the upper hand heading into this series because the Rockets are so young. Their offense is just gets stagnant at times, but their defense is really good. So yeah, the Warriors, they'll play tomorrow night? No, they'll play Thursday night. They don't even play Thursday night. Friday nights will be the next game for the Rockets. And the Warriors should know. I'm wrong. Why is this not showing up on my it's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 6:30. Those two teams will play. Also,
Rockets Warriors tomorrow's at 6:30.
Yes, tomorrow at 6:30 because we got
awesome.
Timberwolves Lakers at 9:00.
Okay.
So Timberwolves have a chance to close out the almighty Lakers, who were supposed to win it all once they got Luka Doncic. They were supposed to just make this great run because they're the
LeBron
best
and Luka.
team in the
Who can
league.
stop them?
Yeah, right. I mean,
no
one.
Their bench is so bad that JJ Redick literally refuses to play him right now.
Yeah. Those guys have to play 48 minutes a game, and LeBron's 40 years old. So, turns out that's not a good recipe. Just having two mega stars and then a bunch of guys around them. So
also, can we talk about? I just want to say a side complaint. I saw Carlos Buzit saying Giannis should be asked to be traded to the Lakers. You would think NBA players would know better how trades work in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, excuse my French here. No shit, Giannis would like to be traded to play with LeBron and Luke at the Lakers, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, there has to be matching salaries.
And plus, do you think the Lakers have the draft capital like other teams do to make the Bucks satisfied? Hell no.
Yeah, that's.
And these talking heads, these cliques, and it's just like you think NBA players would know better than say something just so dumb, even if it is for the Los Angeles, throat suck.
Yeah, leave the dumb stuff to us, all right, Carlos Boozer. Leave it to us.
Let me fan fiction about Giannis and Jokic both coming to OKC this fall.
Yeah,
this summer.
somehow. All right, what else here in the NBA? The Eastern Conference, I'll be honest with you, don't care about the Eastern Conference.
Knicks Pistons has been fun, and that's
and the Knicks are still up 3-1 in that series.
Yeah.
It's just been
probably closing it out tonight.
The Cavs sweep the Heat. The Heat basically just bent over and took it last night.
Woof. I mean, we thought Thunder Grizzlies was bad in game one. Yeah. That was worse.
Yeah, a game 4 at home, and you get your ass kicked by 55 points.
Yeah.
Which if they wouldn't hit the late 3, the Heat, it would have been 58 points. Would have been the biggest margin of victory in the NBA postseason, I think, of all time. I can't remember what Tram said earlier, but I think it was something along those lines.
I didn't watch any of the Cavs Heat game yesterday.
You shouldn't have.
But no, yeah. I mean, I did. I wasn't working my schedule around to be able to watch that game. I did see the clip though on Twitter of the TNT guys clowning him, and I knew it was bad when Ernie Johnson goes, "That may have been the worst game I've ever watched. may have been the worst first half I've ever watched." Because if Ernie Johnson is just full on ripping him, it must have been that bad.
I didn't watch any of the game. I just was on scrolling on Twitter or watching something else, and I saw the score, and I'm like, golly, man. That's pretty tough.
Heat culture.
Yeah, heat culture. They'll have to figure something out there. See what they can do there. All right, Pacers Bucks is going on right now. It's tied 95 apiece with about 2:20 left in the game. Pacers lead that series 3-1. There's a bunch of games going on tonight. Knicks Pistons up right now 33-31 with 6:40 left in the second quarter. That's a 3-1 series right now. The Knicks lead that one, and then a little later on you have the Magic and Celtics. Celtics lead that one 3-1, and then of course later tonight we have one of the best series so far, the Clippers and the Nuggets. Have you ever seen anything like that Aaron Gordon game-winning dunk that was, I mean, about as close as you can get to like being what am I trying to do? A game winner. Like it was a game winner, but it was like so close.
That was, I mean, like you said, it was as close as you can possibly get. It could not have been 0.00001 seconds closer.
I don't even think
Like,
the camera had the frame rate to like
No.
catch it. Dude, it
No,
was so
like
close.
people were taking videos of it and then slowing it down on their iPhone. You still could hardly tell. Like you would see like the very bottom of like the light start to light up, but not the full light. So it's like it was literally that close.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you did have the camera to see if his fingers were on it, I think his fingers were still on it. It's just a matter of if it's in the cylinder or not. I don't understand the rules. I haven't looked up the rules. Nonetheless, I'm glad it happened because I wanted the Nuggets to win that game, extend that series as much as you can, and just what an insane game that was, especially the fourth quarter.
It was crazy. Hopefully we get some stuff like that tonight in Denver for Game 5. Again, tied at 2 apiece. The winner of that will go on to play the Oklahoma City Thunder again. That should be starting either Sunday or Monday. I would assume probably Monday is when that would start.
Why do the Pacers, by the way, I put on the Pacers game on my laptop since I'm now having to use my phone. Why do the Pacers keep doing this alternate uniforms and alternate court?
I don't know. I don't like it.
You're the Pacers. Like you're the Indiana Pacers. Like you're basketball, you're not in the NBA, you're not basketball royalty, but as a state, you're basketball royalty. Be traditional here. Come on.
No,
and also I also laugh every time I see the Pistons do the yellow out because they're really good. They're great. They're great at the t-shirts.
Yeah.
They're still not the Thunder. Because I mean the Thunder have a couple hundred total. We still got that douchebag sitting courtside that refuses to put it on. That blocked me on Twitter, by the way, for not even mentioning him.
He just blocked everyone on Twitter.
Yeah. I didn't even mention anything. I just looked one day, I was blocked. But even the Thunder, I mean, it's 99%. Indiana's like 95%, which is good numbers, but that's just a side note. I was watching. I was like, you guys still on good as this. Looks good, but come
on. Anything else on the NBA before we move on to the NFL draft over the weekend?
You don't want to get in a deep dive of the Celtics Magic matchup tonight?
No, not really. That has been boring as well. Like I said, all the Eastern Conference really has just been a snooze fest.
Even the Magic even when the Magic's won, I was watching a little bit of the game. It was still just a boring game. It's just Paulo and Franz, which is cool.
Yeah,
but it's just them just going off.
I don't know if like sitting down right here. This is the most I've watched of the Indianapolis Milwaukee series, and it's the most I've watched of the Eastern Conference playoffs. We're just too blessed here in the Western Conference with great basketball and great basketball players. So
Tyrese.
All right, so the NFL had their draft over the weekend. Cam Ward goes number 1. I think we all knew that was going to happen. What we didn't know is that the Jacksonville Jaguars would say, F them picks. We don't need them. We're going to trade them to the Browns for Travis Hunter, and they take Travis Hunter number 2. And this is – I was smiling ear to ear when this happened, T-Bag, because I didn't want Travis Hunter going to the Cleveland Browns. I thought that would have been probably the worst landing spot you could have got for Travis Hunter. And he gets to go to Jacksonville, which, look, Jacksonville's all right. Yeah, I would just anywhere.
He's from Florida too, so that part's cool. He'll look fast in those uniforms compared to the Browns uniforms. He wouldn't have looked so fast or so cool.
Yeah, and they have a swimming pool in their stadium. That's pretty cool.
Duval,
it's
Duval. Redneck Riviera times a million.
By the way, the nerdiest combination of head coach and general manager you can get in the NFL. Their GM is like, I don't know, 15 years old. And then their head coach is just a goofball.
It's not going to work. I know nothing. I know nothing about them other than, Liam Cohen was a Bucks offense coordinator, found success. I don't know anything about this GM. But just hearing them talk, I don't know how much they're going to relate.
We don't need them. Yeah.
I literally don't know how much they're going to relate to football players. I'm trying to figure something out here. There we go. Give me a little better view.
It's like they found the 2 whitest, nerdiest dudes, and they were like, yeah, we want those guys to run our football operations.
Like I said, I'm just going to go on a limb and say this is not going to work. It's not. They're some mega nerds for sure.
Do you think? Because I think they already came out and said that Travis Hunter is going to play both sides of the ball, which I think is smart. I think in the NFL
Gotta try it at least.
Yeah, it's not as fast paced as college football, so like you're able to slow things down a little bit. And I think he is talented enough to play on both sides of the ball. If you were them, would you start him though on like defense or offense? Which would you rather like start him with? Like day one of OTA?
Probably defense. Yeah. I think he's a really good wide receiver. I think he's a great cornerback.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's better on defense than he is on offense, but he's pretty damn good on offense.
Yeah.
So have Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter as their wide receivers. Hopefully Trevor Lawrence can actually get the ball to him. That's been an issue for him.
How tall is Travis Hunter, by the way? Because I remember.
I don't know. It's got to be at least 6'2".
I'll look it up in a second. There's got a foul.
Something like that.
Travis Hunter. He is 6'1". Okay, so he's taller than I thought, but nonetheless, they were talking before the draft how Trevor Lawrence, when he's had his best seasons college, and then the one season in the NFL, he's had taller wide receivers, and now he's been short wide receivers. And I mean, 6'1's not short, but I mean it's not 6'3", what Trevor Lawrence is used to, because they said he's so used to throwing to taller wide receivers that it's kind of throwing off his ball. So.
All I know is if you're Trevor Lawrence and you're in the NFL, they should never have to say anything like that about you. I mean, come on, dude.
For the hype he got, no.
I mean, this guy was the second coming whenever he got into the NFL. So, I don't know. We'll see. The biggest story though out of the draft, Shedeur Sanders. I mean, just free falling down the drafting. Yeah, it was. All the way down to round 5, taken by the Browns. A lot of people are saying the Browns had a great draft. I don't know if drafting 2 rookie quarterbacks, which neither I think are going to be good in the NFL, would put me in the category of saying the Browns had a good draft.
I think the Browns had a good draft outside the 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They got draft capital for next year because the Jags probably not going to be good next year. More than likely going to be a top 15, top 10 pick. So good pick right there. Good trade. I think they had a good draft on a lot of things, except the 2 quarterbacks, because one, Dylan Gabriel, he probably could have got where he got Shedeur Sanders.
Yes.
But he took him with the 3rd round. 3rd round is very valuable in the NFL. First, second, 3rd round, you're projecting those guys to be contributors.
Those are guys that can come in and start.
First and second rounds, you expect to start. 3rd round, you expect to either start or contribute. 4th round and beyond, that's when you're like, all right, this is going to be hit or miss. You could have gotten Dylan Gabriel probably in the 5th round. And if you didn't get Dylan Gabriel, it's not like you're missing out on, Jaden Daniels if you had the number 2 pick or something. You're missing out on Dylan Gabriel. No, nothing against Dylan Gabriel. But I mean, let's be real. And then to go out and to take Travis Hunt or Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, and it sounds like ownership probably just stepped in and was like, no, you guys are taking him. Whew. Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about divided love. I mean, I feel bad. The loser in all this is really Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Now, he got drafted higher than he ever could have dreamed. He's going to make more money than he thought he would have. So, I mean, that's a win on that side. But on the football side, he's never going to have a fair shake because, everyone's just going to be talking about Shedeur 24/7 all the time.
Well, and if I were Dylan Gabriel, I'd be like, just get me the hell out of here.
Just trade me
Cleveland
down.
Because it's from ownership down. It's just a complete mess.
Yeah.
In Cleveland. So we'll see. I mean, look, Mel Kiper was just going on this long tantrum all weekend about why
so annoying.
The NFL at the last 50 years has no clue what they're talking about when it comes to quarterbacks. And how he's right, and he's one of the ones that gave the Browns an A+. The only team, by the way, that got an A+ on Mel Kiper's draft grades. Browns were the only one that got an A+, and they happened to be the only team that drafted Shedeur Sanders, who he was campaigning for all weekend long to get drafted. By the way, I think he said if Jimmy Clausen or someone like that wasn't a Pro Bowler, he would retire. He's still working, and that quarterback did not make the Pro Bowl. So that was something funny to keep an eyeball on all weekend too. Was Mel Kiper just losing his mind every time no one took Shedeur Sanders?
Oh, Mel. And this isn't just specific that Mel Kiper. Just kind of people in general. I don't know why it was so hard to comprehend that maybe myself included, like I thought Shedeur was going to be a first-round pick. I did. Now, I'm not a talent evaluator.
Yeah.
I'm just going off what the media says, and it's hard for people to comprehend, like, oh, maybe the media ran with this because it was a story.
Well, there was no maybe.
Sanders.
I mean, the media pumped him up through college. I mean, the guy was one game over 500 in college football. And you're going to tell me he's supposed to be like the next coming of Tom Brady or something like that in the NFL? He was an average college quarterback that had a great Heisman Trophy player on his team. And now he's supposed to make this leap to the NFL where he's walking around swinging this big you-know-what into all these draft meetings, not doing anything at the combine, having basically his pro day at like this club somewhere in Boulder, Colorado, where they're playing all this music and stuff like that. You're gonna tell me that guy, isn't a good quarterback that's solely set his mind on football? Like, no, duh, guys, come on.
Here's what I just want to do for the people that actually are like, oh, the NFL was just out to get him, for whatever reasons. One, like we just said, he was over evaluated, and we all fell for it because the media, because his dad, but the talent evaluators the whole time were like, no, this guy's a backup. This guy's an NFL backup. So the whole time in the important people's eyes, he's been a backup. He talked to a select few teams. He told some teams he's not going to talk to him. He's not going to go there. He didn't do, like you said, a lot of the draft combine, a lot of the stuff you need to do. He sounded like he was a cocky douche in meetings that didn't need any help from anything. And so you add all those four things together, and you think NFL teams are saying that's like, well, we have him evaluated as a future backup.
Yeah.
Do we want all the extracurricular activity that goes along with having Shedeur Sanders?
And that's not the type of guy you want as a backup
No.
either.
You want the backup quarterback is an art. It is. Yes.
You shut the hell up and you do your job.
You're a locker room guy. You're a vibes guy. You help the quarterback prepare. You keep the quarterback, cool and engaged. You're friends with the quarterback. That is your job as a backup. That is your job as an NFL backup. It is not college where you're competing for a job. It's not high school where you're competing for the job. No, the NFL backup is an art. And anyone that says different is honestly just fooling themselves. Now, obviously, if you're a team like the Giants next year where you're going to have like three quarterbacks that are all serviceable, with Jameis, Jackson Dart, and, Russell Wilson, Tommy DeVito, it's different. But if you're going to a place where they kind of, are looking to get, establish a quarterback or something, or have an established quarterback, backup's an art. And I know Cleveland doesn't have necessarily an established quarterback, but all the other 31 teams were like, no, if he's going to be our backup, we don't want Deion's kid coming in and wreaking havoc whenever he's not starting.
Yeah.
Side note, did you see what Jackson Dart said before the draft about Jameis Winston?
I did not.
He said before the draft, before he was drafted by the Giants, they asked him if you could have any teammate, who would it be? He could have, he could pick Mahomes. He could pick, or I guess probably not Mahomes, he's a quarterback. He could pick anyone in the NFL. And he picked Jameis Winston.
I don't blame him. Jameis looks, it's just everything you see just seems like an awesome dude.
And no teammate has ever said a bad word about him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of rare for quarterbacks. I mean, even like Mahomes Brady got hate. Mahomes will get hate. But it's rare for quarterbacks to not get some hate in their career.
Wait, especially a guy like Jameis that throws a million interceptions too.
Yeah.
Man, I really hope he gets to play a little bit for the Giants this year. I'm in a dynasty league outside of the sports animal, and I've kept him on my bench for like the last couple of years, just because even in fantasy football, I like to have a morale guy around, and Jameis Winston is the ultimate morale guy. So
it's good karma.
The prank calls, by the way, you have to be so stupid to get a hold of Shedeur's number and Tyler Warren as well, and say on the biggest weekend of their lives, I think I'm going to prank call these. Oh, and by the way, what does your dad do as a job? He's a coach for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
How stupid do you have to be?
That kid's just had a rough week. Rough week.
His dad's probably like, dude, you almost cost me my job. Like, what the hell is your problem?
Whatever because his dad obviously makes pretty good money. I'm sure this kid's probably, I mean, I don't know nothing about him. I'm just making assumptions here. I'm sure he probably gets a good he's a college kid. I'm sure he has a nice little allowance.
And I'm sure his education is paid for. Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of that is getting nipped out the window saying, you are going to learn some discipline right here, buddy.
Yeah, like get your ass a job.
Yeah.
You start paying for all the
Yeah. Because that wasn't like a dumb 21. Like it was a
wasn't even
dumb
funny.
21-year-old.
It wasn't even funny.
It was like a dumb 21-year-old thing, but it's like I was 21 4 years ago. I'm not far removed from 21.
Yeah.
I would have never, ever done that. Ever.
No, it's something like a 15-year-old would do.
I had to hold a Baker Mayfield's number in high school. When Baker Mayfield was scorching OSU year in and year out.
Yeah.
I had his phone number. I got it from a friend who knew Baker. That was a friend. One of my friend's brothers, like, kind of knew Baker in college. They got his number. You know, high school things. You know, got to come across it. I got his number. I never like I said, I was 17. I was dumber than a 21-year-old. And also, Baker was like my enemy number one outside of Kevin Durant. Outside of Kevin Durant at the time, was enemy number one in my life, and I still never did anything like that. Yeah. I never sent him like a funny, like, you know, funny text of like F you or something.
Yeah.
Like I never even touched it.
That's good.
It was funny because Baker's number did get leaked during I think it was a draft. I don't think anyone prank called him, but I think his number did get leaked before the draft, maybe. It was before the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
A bunch of Georgia fans were calling him. He played it, and he's like, thought it was funny. Yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, how did I not think, you know, just like to pass that around to every OSU fan the night before Bedlam and just wake him up all night?
I don't think it would have mattered. He kicked the hell out of
Oklahoma State. No, it would not have mattered at all. No. But he changed his number. He changed his number since, so I don't think I have Baker Mayfield's number anymore, and I haven't for a long time. But at one point I used to have Baker Mayfield's number.
Hey, that's all that counts, right? All right, some of the state school guys that got drafted. Oklahoma State, Nick Martin goes to the 49ers in the 3rd round. Colin Oliver goes to the 5th round to the Packers. Ollie Gordon, 6th round to the Dolphins. Corey Black, the 7th round, to the Giants. And all I have to say about Ollie Gordon going in the 6th round is he can thank the Oklahoma State offensive linemen last year.
Yeah. I knew he was going to drop after the season he had. I thought he was going to be a 3rd or 4th rounder. 6th round, I was shocked. He didn't have the best numbers at the combine, and the offensive line was bad last year. But if you just look at the plays he had where he overcame the offensive line, you can see those sparks of this guy can be good.
I mean, he's going to be good in that Dolphins offense, I think.
Yeah. And, I mean, do I think Ollie Gordon's going to be a multi-time Pro Bowler? No. But I think getting him in the 6th round, I mean, I'm obviously super biased to this, but I think that's a great steal to get because he's gonna be in the league, I think, for at least 3 years. And getting a 6th round pick, teams are literally just throwing what to a wall and hoping it sticks.
And those are the ones you can easily cut and all that stuff too, and it doesn't really matter. But I mean, this guy was supposed to be like RB1 or 2 heading into the draft preseason, right? So.
Ollie can also thank the Oklahoma State NIL for giving him a nice $1 million last year to help compensate for some of the money he lost.
I think he's frozen a little bit. Let's sit back here. You said you froze a little bit.
Dude, this is insane. I literally have my Wi-Fi off, and my internet is just still not good right now. So what's going on? What's going on in Central Oklahoma City?
I might have lost my Wi-Fi too. We'll see.
We'll get to it in a second. During Conclave, I lost my Wi-Fi and it delayed me like 5 minutes. So I was like trying to restart. So I eventually just had to start watching on my phone. That was bad. But yeah, I was saying good thing, NIL. These are the moments where I'm really glad NIL are a thing because it's like guys like Ollie Gordon, last draft would have probably been a 2nd, 3rd rounder, but he wasn't eligible for the draft. He's only 2nd year in college, and this year's a 6th rounder. So that it's one of those things where I'm glad that NIL is a thing because at least Ollie, for that 1 year, he had to come back and it hurt his draft stock. He was able to make like $1 million.
Yeah, no,
so, like,
for sure.
It because like when you think about it, it's like that used to screw a lot of people if they had a high draft grade, came back to college and didn't perform like they wanted to. I mean that's a lot of money you can cost yourself.
Oh yeah, and $1 million.
It's really no fault of your own. I mean, you're trying. Yeah. I mean, it's just how the cards fall sometimes.
And $1 million goes a long way in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So I'm sure he
Yeah.
didn't spend too much of that, which
Yeah.
maybe he did with his off the field issues. Who knows? Anyways, we won't get into that. Oklahoma players drafted both in the 4th round. Only 2 Sooners drafted, by the way. Yikes, is what I'll say. Danny Stutzman, 4th round to the Saints, and Billy Bowman, 4th round to the Falcons. I like both of those landing spots for those guys. I think I really wanted the Chargers to hopefully get Billy Bowman. I think he's a great like safety or even could be like a nickel guy in the NFL. I think, and then Danny Stutzman. I mean, he's just an animal. I think you can plug him into any team, and he's just going to be an animal.
Danny Stutzman. I'm gonna call my shot now. Also, side note, back to OSU. I hated that Colin Oliver went to the Packers because I hate the Packers and I love Colin Oliver, so that sucked. Back to Danny Stutzman. I'm going to call my shot with this one, Preston. Danny Stutzman is going to be a fan favorite in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And I'm not talking like the first time they hear him talk. I think he's going to be, their 4th round pick that's going to end up starting, probably have a nice 5-6 year plus career in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to remember NFL careers, to our audience, like, NFL careers aren't NBA careers. Like 5 years is
good.
Is double the average, span.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a 5-6 year career plus in the NFL. I think he's going to be a very good linebacker, and he's going to know how to fit to those New Orleans fans like no other.
Yeah.
It's not like he'd be in Kansas City or in New York, Miami, Jacksonville. Danny Stutzman personality is great, but it's just another personality. In New Orleans, if he buys into that New Orleans culture, which he will, they're going to love him there.
Yeah. And like his Instagram caption said, he's like communion, the cracker with the juice.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect.
Which, by the way, is a perfect segue into our next topic. This is our first movie review of this podcast. Look, we might send us some movies. We might, watch them and do a movie review. This got brought up because we were both mesmerized by the whole ongoings at the Vatican with
next Wednesday. This Wednesday or next Wednesday?
Good question. I don't know.
I think
I've
it's
been lagging a little bit.
I think it's next Wednesday, the 6th, maybe.
So we'll see who Pope 2025 will be, but Teabag and I were enamored by all the TikToks covering all this stuff. Again, I'm not Catholic. My grandfather is a Pentecostal pastor, which is very far from Catholicism. So I really knew nothing about the Catholic Church. So getting into those TikToks and then watching this movie has kind of opened my my eyes a little bit to as far as how things go on as far as selecting a new pope. But Conclave, a movie from 2024. It's got a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not often you find movies that have that rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So real quick before we get into Baron on YouTube, hey, what's up? I'm listening to the Sports Animal. And do you? I do not have a PS5, Baron. I'm an Xbox guy.
I'm an Xbox guy too.
Yes, he might have heard my Xbox turn off just a little bit ago. But 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. And here's what I'll say about this movie. It is essentially, if you don't know what a conclave is, it is when all the cardinals in the Catholic Church get together at it's the Sistine Chapel is where they do like the actual conclave. But they all meet up at the Vatican, and they're all like sequestered and they're in the Vatican area, the Sistine Chapel, for until they figure out who the new pope is. Basically, like they have nothing, they can't get any like word from the outside. They don't have phones or anything like that to talk to anyone from the outside world. They're there and they know nothing that's going on except for what's happening with their conclave. So that is what a conclave is. And I'll say this about the movie, Teabag, and I'm interested in your thoughts. The first like half of this movie just creeps along. I mean, it's a very good storyline, but it feels like it's like 5 hours long, the first half of the movie.
I fell asleep. I started watching this on Saturday. I fell asleep about 30. I was at the 34-minute mark, 35-minute mark. Preston, it was so boring at the beginning. When you texted me today, I was like, shh, we have to watch that. Because I woke up that night into the next day and didn't even think about the movie.
Yeah.
I think I remembered one time. I think I remembered yesterday. I was like, oh, I need to catch up on this movie. But that was like a 2-second thought I had in my brain, and it went out. It was a very slow burn at first. It picks up. It picks up and gets much better. I liked the movie. I don't know if I'd watch it again. I liked it. If you're interested, I suggest watching it. But yes, it was a very slow burn at the beginning. Like I said, like I fell asleep on Saturday, and the reason I forgot is because my brain remembered nothing because I was like, what's going on? Like,
and I will say this, once things pick up in this movie, boy, do they pick up, because there are plot twists and turns everywhere you look as soon as this, and it's probably about halfway into I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes left in the movie.
It's like about like exactly halfway.
Yeah.
Because like today when I picked it back up, I was like, this movie's good.
Yeah. Like it picks up and you're like, holy hell. Yeah. And then the ending, you're like, what the is like what my
the ending is weird. The ending is weird.
Yes, it is very weird. So all these different Cardinals. Cardinal Lawrence is like kind of the main character. He's the guy who's responsible for like the goings on of the Conclave. Yeah, I don't know the exact term for his title, but it does a good job.
He's a dean of the Cardinals. It's Ralph Fine. How do you say his last name? He's a popular actor.
Yeah, and a lot of familiar faces in this movie.
Yes, a lot of.
If you haven't seen it, you'd see some of these people. And you're like, oh, I've seen them in X, Y, and Z. So
yeah.
But I thought he did a good job of like making you like him, and then it just all turns, and you're like, what the hell is going on with this guy?
Yeah, he was having an existential crisis. Everyone just seems to have problem. I mean, you know, I know I'm like you. I'm not Catholic. I don't really know much about the Catholic Church. I've gotten into the Conclave watch. That's how we got into this whole movie watching thing. Because me and you just all of a sudden have turned like Catholic experts, Conclave experts. I thought in my mind, and this is maybe me. Sorry, I clicked on my computer at the wrong time. Did the Pacers just hit a shot to take the lead? I missed it. That's what I was doing with my phone. I was trying to move my phone from my screen, and I
overtime. By the way, Tyrese Halliburton jumps on top of the scores.
Oh, what a win!
Pacers take down the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round to advance.
I'm having to rewind that. I got to see what happens.
But yeah, I mean, and when they introduce the Cardinal from Afghanistan, Cardinal Benitez, there's a feeling where you're just like, I think this guy's going to be a little bit more important later on in the movie than like what you realize.
When they bring the random guy off the streets.
Yeah. You're like, who the hell is this guy? And they figure out like, oh, the Pope, kind of ordained him as the Cardinal of Afghanistan. He's Mexican too, by the way. And it's very confusing. Like, why is there a Mexican priest and Cardinal in Afghanistan? Yada, yada, yada. And then you go on and it's like, okay, you finally get to the big parts. There's a part, spoilers, by the way, it's a very late spoiler warning. I guess
spoiler alert. We can talk about what happened. Spoiler alert.
The part where the terror attack happens, you're kind of like, I don't know if that was necessarily needed in the movie.
The terrorist attacks did not seem necessary. Really.
But it kind of gives you like this real world feel. Like, okay, like obviously you could see, what has happened. And this something that could realistically happen in the real world. I don't think it would, because I think the Vatican is like super locked down, right? But this is something that could theoretically happen in the real world. And it's just, it's just insane. And then the back half of the movie, or actually, sorry, I've got a bunch of notes that I'm trying to go through. Other things, there's basically no rules in a conclave. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
is what I've learned.
I didn't know there. I mean, I know like Jesus drank wine and wine's not forbidden in the church, but I didn't know they just drank wine casually.
There's one of the Italian cardinals is just ripping a vape the whole entire movie.
There's a drunk. There's a drunk in the movie. But like what I was saying earlier, the one thing I kind of took away from this movie, because I think it kind of opened my eyes. A lot more politics in the Catholic Church than I thought, because it's like in my mind, I'm like, the Catholic Church, they're doing everything for God, they're doing everything for service. No, No, this is all politics. This is
100%.
all politics.
It's like
there's Republicans and there's Democrats in that thing.
Literally, yeah. It's like liberal and conservative. Like, who do you want to win? And it's basically what's happening in real life as well. But at one point, it looks like this one African cardinal is going to win it, but then there's a scandal.
Oh, we got to fight, Preston.
In this Pacers game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't show it. I don't know if we were able to show anything like
that. Good call. Demonetized.
I did not see that. I missed it. I'll have to go back.
Giannis's last moment as a Buck fight.
We'll see where he ends up.
Dude, fighting after you lose a series—that's a bad look. It's a bad look.
Anyways, this African priest or cardinal, excuse me, it seems like he's going to win the conclave, and then this whole scandal hits him. He's out. There's a scene where he's like bawling his eyes out to Cardinal Lawrence. Mm-hmm. And then there's this Canadian guy, Cardinal Tremblay, who's responsible for all that stuff. Then Cardinal Lawrence goes and gets all this dirt on Tremblay, who's out. And then everyone's like, well, Lawrence, you're going to be the Pope. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to be the Pope.
Anyway, one guy like mentioned, then the guy that wins was like, hey, this is what the church is really. He gave the right message about what the church is supposed to be,
and that's what was one of my points. Is like this Cardinal Benitez who comes off the street, no one knows who he is. There's this moment after this terrorist attack, and they can't figure out who the hell is going to be the Pope. He stands up in front of him and gives like this really like profound speech, and then at that point, you're just like, okay, he's going to be the Pope. Yeah, and then he does eventually get voted to be the Pope, and then in the craziest plot twist I've ever seen in a movie. It turns out
I was about to turn off the movie press and join the show because I was like 5-10 minutes late joining because I was catching up at the last second. I was about to whenever I saw he won the Pope, I was like, okay, I can probably turn it off because I know he wins a Pope.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I should watch for the credits just in case something happens here that press wants to talk about. Boy,
yeah,
did something happen?
It turns out like this messenger comes up to Cardinal Lawrence, who was running the whole entire conclave, and he's like, hey, there's something you need to know about this guy we just elected Pope. And it turns out that he was born with the body parts in the lower extremities of a man and a woman, right? Didn't need to be in the movie, by the way. I mean, that just did not need to be in there. And they drop that bomb on you, and then immediately just says conclave, and the movie's over. You get nothing after that.
And I mean, I don't know what to say.
I was speechless, T-Bag. I was speechless.
I'm still speechless. Like I don't know how to comprehend it because I'm like, what was that? It feels like one of the most unnecessary plot twists of all time because the movie just ends.
It just ends. Like it literally is this. It cuts to a scene. Like
it's 3 minutes. It is the last 3 minutes of the movie. That's all it is. And you're like.
And you can hear like the crowd once they see the white smoke is when they know they have a Pope, I believe. Yeah. They put the white smoke out. You can just hear a crowd behind cheering. You're like, well, I don't know if this crowd's gonna be cheering for much longer when they find out about this damn Pope. And then the movie just cuts to the end scene that just says conclave.
A way better ending, which is like just don't include any of that and just show him going out. Yeah. Out on the balcony of the Vatican, the whole waving to everyone and blessing the world for the first time.
Now I'm like, when that's the hell is Conclave 2 dropping? Like, I need more. I need to know what happens now.
The return of the Sistine Chapel.
Yes. So yeah, it was just overall. I mean, the first half, like we said, was a slow burn, but once it starts, it starts. Mm-hmm. Overall, I would say 8.5, 9 maybe score on this movie.
I'd say 8.
The last
beginning, the beginning, and then the last 3 minutes are just like, what the hell? But everything in the middle of that is great. Is great film. Great film.
100%. All right. Anything else? We've got a couple questions. We'll go ahead and answer. Video game related. What's your favorite Xbox games besides Halo 5? Never played Halo 5. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big Halo guy. I'm playing like a lot of GTA and Fortnite and stuff like that. That's about what I play. Derek,
I'm a Skate 3. Just for a brain candy. Listen to a podcast and a college football guy.
There's nothing wrong with those games.
I need to get back into the GTA grind, but I'm kind of holding out to GTA 5, but that's probably never going to happen.
There might be. I've been entrenched in GTA 5 online, and I've seen some stuff. So they're doing an F1 race in Miami this week, and that's where GTA 6 is supposed to be like taking place.
Oh, GTA 6, yeah,
is in like the Miami area. And there's a lot of F1 teams using GTA related content for this race in Miami. So maybe we'll have some news about Grand Theft Auto 6 after this weekend, after the F1 race. So
cool.
Derek on Facebook, IDK, if y'all are old heads like me, but since y'all are Xbox guys, have y'all played Oblivion Remastered? No, I have not. Derek also says, have y'all watched Righteous Gemstones? Yes. I need to finish the rest of this last season, but the Righteous Gemstones brings me back to like my childhood and going to a Southern church because it's all like very much like the same. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can definitely see this happening. So yeah, the Righteous Gemstone is 100% right up my my alley.
Yeah, it's a funny television show. You got to be able to joke with it if you're a religious person like that. Yeah. You gotta be able to understand that this is going to joke about you guys.
Comedy,
a lot, it's comedy, but it is funny. It is really. I mean, Danny McBride is one of the kind.
Hilarious.
Walter Goggins shows up in it, but I haven't. My roommate watches it, so I've watched a lot with him, but I haven't watched all of it. You know what I mean?
It's one of my favorite series out there. I think they're all just awesome. So.
And there's like killings and stuff in it, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah, because I've seen some people just get off, and I'm like, oh my god.
It is. It's very funny. Derek also says, Preston, you grabbed the Psycho Raider skin in Fortnite. It's in the shop first time in like 5 years. I've already spent way too much money on Fortnite, Derek. It's a free game, and I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on it, so I need to lay off the V-Bucks. So I'll lay off the V-Bucks. All right, you got anything else before we wrap this thing up?
They were good.
All right, well, that'll do it for us. We'll be back probably Thursday. We'll tweet it out whenever we circle a date. And if you have any other movies you want us to watch and review,
good movies.
Good movies. We're not going to watch the boring one. Maybe some old movies too. I haven't seen a lot of old movies. So
me either. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen out there.
Yeah, so if you have any of those, tweet us. At Preston Pool 0405, at Tyler's Takes, at Unadvised Pod. That'll do it for us. Until next time, watch out for the storms. Stay safe. Have a good one, everyone.